Hey everybody, Vice Versa here. I want to talk a little bit about something that doesn't get addressed very often, but is at the core of the experience every one of us has with the game. And that's what we mean, or should mean, when we talk about the subject of viability. The dictionary definition of viable, capable of working successfully, or feasible, is pretty clear-cut. If something can be used successfully, it is viable. What often seems to get confused, however, is the difference between what is viable and what is best. Some people have asked me to remove all mention of spec options other than Dark Arbiter from my guide, to which I responded with a resounding no. Why is that? Because those spec setups are viable, either in full raid content or other forms of content. They deal nearly as much damage in Sims as Dark Arbiter. The best secondary spec, Soul Reaper, is less than 6% behind Dark Arbiter, properly managed, or more depending on the amount of damage sustained or burst AoE that you need. We need to stop equating viable with best and best with only. It's exactly this mentality that has created a gulf between the new player and the experienced one, and has created a stale atmosphere in the gaming sphere as a whole. And not just in World of Warcraft, guys. Gaming culture itself no longer encourages alternative thought or celebrates innovation. Instead, many mock anyone who dares to deviate from whatever is considered to be the very best spec. Honestly, I understand that for some people, gaming is about superiority, and the best way to achieve that is by playing the numerically best spec, or deck, or champion, or whatever have you. And as a guide writer and someone who advises others, I will be the first one to state what the numerically best spec is. I will never subvert facts or reality to promote a personal agenda or a preference, but however, there is something to be said for enjoying yourself. We should be able to have fun when we play games. We should not be attacked, we should not be mocked or otherwise put down because we decided to do what is fun for us. Some may disregard this as safe space nonsense, but that's the truth of their matter. These are games, they're designed for fun, and as I've said, if you aren't having fun, why are you wasting your time and your money? In a sense, this contributes a lot as well to the toxicity that we see permeating gaming culture as a whole. People slamming other people with racial and ethical slurs because they dared to play in a competitive space with something that is not absolute numerical perfection. I was recently told by someone that if I wanted to complete current mythic content, I needed to change classes to a warrior or a rogue. I don't see this as being the case. Admittedly, I'm behind the curve in this raid tier. I'm still progressing on mythic. My guild is working on Mistress currently. We've gotten through Host and Sisters. So, I don't feel unviable as yet. That may change as I continue progressing, but currently is definitely not true so far. Ultimately, I've played several different types of games competitively. I've also always made the choice to play what appeals to me, either aesthetically, thematically, or stylistically. I think that barring egregious bugs or a complete inability to function, you should be able to play what you want. I think that is the definition of viability. Some Unholy Death Knight specific stuff that has been cropping up that bears discussing. Unholy DKs, the rest of this video is for you. So let's go on. There's been a lot of talk about when to use initial army when carrying the T20 bonuses. The three popular use times are 3 seconds pre-pull, or 5 seconds pre-pull, on pull, or after first apocalypse. Based on an analysis of Warcraft logs records, there are a smattering of high-parsed logs with each of these three options in use, which leads us to believe that there is little to no difference between the options other than your level of comfort. There are benefits and detractors to each of the options, so it'll be up to you to decide which you'll choose to use, but I'll outline the general pros and cons here for you guys and gals. So pre-pull, you have full or nearly full runes available to triple cast Festering Strike if you come up short, which makes your opener smoother. You will not have to delay your first apocalypse by more than a single global. You gain essentially a full rune's worth of cooldown on army when considering the T24 piece bonus, and you will begin reducing the cooldown of army immediately on pull, which may gain you a potential extra cast of army. Cons of the pre-pull: you will waste runic power by casting army and spending runes while you are not in combat. You will lose 5 to 6 seconds of time on the Master of Ghouls buff, the bonus 15% damage from the T22 piece. If you are not careful with your positioning, your ghouls may pull early. And you require a 5 to 6 second minimum pull warning. You also lose some ghoul attack time. For the on-pole choice, the pros are going to be that you will not lose any time at all with Master of Ghouls, which is awesome. You will have your ghouls attacking for their entire duration. You will have a pretty hefty amount of starting runic power available, and you don't require any pull warning. For cons, you will only have 3 runes available for the first 7 to 8 seconds of the fight, which can delay the cadence of your opener, especially if you are unlucky with wounds. This is not as pronounced when playing Soul Reaper because you can spend the runic power that you gain to potentially balance out your runes, but it can delay Arbiter build substantially. You will lose some time on the cooldown of Army. This is only the pre-pull difference, so it is not very much, and you may lose considerable globals due to poor luck at the start. Your ghouls will not begin attacking until the 4-second summon duration completes, which can hurt your initial burst. You won't be applying Pestilence or Death, which means you lose about 18% damage on most of your abilities used in the first 4 to 8 seconds of the fight, depending on your luck. Post-apocalypse, the pros are going to be that with the pre-pull, as with the pre-pull army, you will have full runes available for your opener, which makes it much smoother. You will not lose any time at all with Master of Ghouls. You should have plenty of runes available to cast army due to the Death Harbinger trait. You do not require a pull warning, and you will gain considerable runic power from casting army, which will be available for your use. As for cons, you will lose anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds on the cooldown reduction from the T24 piece bonus. This number includes the ticking cooldown from pre-pull or on-pull casting, plus the cooldown reduction from each rune potentially spent prior to casting Army of the Dead for the first time. You will lose more damage from your initial bursts. You will not have Master of Ghouls for any of your damage prior to and including Apocalypse. This is slightly worse if you're playing Soul Reaper. You will have a 4-second lull in your damage, as you may have a rune wait time after casting Army. Also, depending on fight length, you may lose the cast of Army, or the fight may end during the duration of an Army due to the various timing delays. Ultimately, this choice comes down to preference, as different people experience the game in different ways, have different gear, and different latency. The 5-second pre-pull and post-apocalypse cast sacrifice effect for comfort, while the on-pull option will likely give you the best efficiency of effects, but with a significant cost to the comfort of your opener. It is up to you to decide which is more important to you, efficiency or comfort. Last but not least, I want to talk about Convergence of Fates, and by extension, Fellow-Willed Infernal Machine. These two trinkets synergize well with Dark Arbiter, offering you reduced cooldown and increased haste over her duration. However, they are not the be-all and end-all of trinket choice when it comes to the Arbiter spec. Many of the trinkets available in Tomb Sargeras offer value to us as Unholy Death Knights. The ones that immediately come to mind are Engine of Eradication, Spectre of Betrayal, and Viability Toxin specifically. They offer strength and either mastery or direct shadow damage, and these 3 trinkets are all very strong contenders for our trinket slots as we progress through Tomb and move towards 7.3. Moreover, they are all easy to obtain at higher item levels than either Machine or Convergence. A lot of people misconstrue the suggestion of Convergence with DA as a requirement. I assure you all it is absolutely not a requirement. While it does make certain aspects of play more convenient, it is nothing more than that, a convenience. As a matter of fact, its usefulness varies based on your fight length, meaning that there are ranges of time where it is actually of no use at all and is simply a strength stat stick. An easy rule of thumb is this: Convergence is only slightly better than another trinket if it allows you to cast an extra Dark Arbiter that you would not normally be able to fit into the fight. Long story short, Convergence is by far and away not a requirement to do well with Dark Arbiter. Anyone who tells you so is perpetuating a myth. It simplifies some aspects of play, but trinkets available in Tomb can offer you damage on par with what you can gain and sometimes more beyond what Convergence can grant. In other news, the tier 21 bonuses are still Death Coil oriented as of the making of this video. This may result in some power creep for Defile build depending on how this interacts with the effect of Death March as well as our Mastery. PTR testing to come. Look forward to it, guys. We'll get some videos coming out in the next couple of weeks. We're looking forward to the Destiny 2 beta. I'm really interested in that. I'm going to get you guys some beta footage from the PC beta going, probably coming up here in about 2 weeks when they release the beta. That'll be fun, and we're looking forward to about an October release for the main game, if any of you guys are interested in that. We're also going to be looking into some more PC games, possibly through Steam, so we can stream some, do some Let's Plays, things like that. If you want more interesting videos, check us out on Patreon, check us out on WordPress, we're at Wowhead, I'm at Twitch if you want to watch me stream. I'm going to leave you guys with the outro, check it out, guys. Thanks for watching.